What's up, guys? I don't want to make this video too long. Before we do get started, I am doing a webinar at 5 p.m. today, November 23rd. So if you haven't signed up for it yet, I'm gonna leave the link in the description, and it's gonna be 5 p.m. PST covering game plans, identifying high probability setups, and I'm gonna do a Q&A at the end. So if you're watching this before 5 p.m., make sure to sign up for that. You'll get the Zoom link to your email. And other than that, let's get started. We do have a lot to cover, so let's get right into it. So the S&P 500, guys, we have a head and shoulders right here, right, on the higher time. First of all, let's start off with the trend, right? We're obviously in a downtrend, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low. We always want to pay attention to the most recent lower high and the most recent lower low. Yeah, those are the main levels. And that's kind of like the range we're in because Thursday was a major day that it was like a almost like a 3-4% sell-off in one day. So we could range in between here. I'm not interested in that. I'm either interested above or below this area, but since we are in a downtrend, I'm also looking for that lower high. And so I do think the lower high on SPY is going to be like around this area, which we already rejected on Friday. So if we could stay under Friday's high, I'll be very interested in shorting back down to this low. But look what happens every time we get to this low. It holds up, right? So there's two scenarios at that low as well. We hold and we take calls off of it, like Friday's opportunity. If it gets there again and it holds, we could do that. But if it breaks and retests under, that's where I think this gets very pretty much aggressive to the downside. If it gets under that 652, I mean this thing has nothing but room to 645, 650, 645, 642, and then like 635s. So we also have that bearish engulfing. So downtrend, and then we have the levels, and then we have this bearish engulfing, and we also have a left head, right shoulder. So this is also a head and shoulders on a higher time frame. Since we are looking at this on a daily time frame, we can expect this to take a little bit longer. But I really like this setup, and it's pretty much identical to QQ. Lower high, lower high, lower high. And as you can see, these are the levels, pretty much that Thursday's high, major resistance. So we still have to be prepared for upside as well. We don't want to just be too biased. But if I were to be more biased, the reasons why is because we're on a downtrend. We have the bearish engulfing. We're making lower highs, and we have that head and shoulders also on this higher time frame. We got the left head, right shoulder, and so the neckline would be this area here, this 590 area that just keeps holding up. If we can stay under that, also Friday's low is a clean level. You can see this 582 is a big resistance back here, and now it's a big support back here. So if it gets under 582, 576, 568 is next. And since this is a higher time frame, we could even buy some more time. But for upside, I mean, unless it gets above 613, then that's gonna reverse this whole trend. But I don't know if it's gonna get there, to be honest. From a news perspective, the only thing we have this week is PPI on Tuesday. That's gonna be an important one, and then GDP on Wednesday. That's an important one as well. Okay, and then it is Thanksgiving week, so sometimes on holidays, guys, I don't really like to trade heavy, specifically more so like Christmas, guys, because Christmas and New Year's, there's just less volatility, less people show up to the markets, and it's just enjoy the holidays without having to, that's pretty much what there's gonna be less volatility. Markets close, and on short weeks, the market gets slow sometimes. But yeah, guys, with that being said, QQ under 590s, upside above 613s. Let's keep a close eye on it. Individual names. I only have a few that I'm really watching. AMD being one of the top ones. AMD, same thing. It had like a left head, right shoulder, and it broke this neckline right here. They're not perfect. It's not a perfect head and shoulders, obviously, right? But it's there. Left, head, right. We broke this neckline. And so that neckline, and it's also in confluence with this trend line. If we retest this area and fail here, I'm very interested in shorting back down. Pretty much I'm just looking for a lower high to follow this trend. And if it does give us that lower high, then AMD has a gap fill. I mean, under Friday's low and under these lows, you could also take it. I just prefer taking the pullback. Pre-market will give us more details and hints on how we can trade this. So that is something that I'll look for. Next up, we have Tesla. Tesla looks pretty clean too. Tesla's just making lower lows and lower highs. And the most recent lower low is this 381. So if we can break under 381, it has nothing but room to 368. It's like a $12 move almost. So I'm very interested in that. If it keeps holding this and it bounces back to this level, then there's two scenarios here. It could reject back down, or if it does break above that 423, I am very interested in the upside because that's a whole sign of reversal. That's our most recent lower high that's holding us lower. So if we're able to break above that 423, very interested. If we're able to break below that 381, that is basically continuing the downtrend because we're making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And if we break the lower low, then we go and continue that downtrend. So that is what I'm looking for here on Tesla. Pretty simple. So AMD Tesla, I like PLTR as well. PLTR is sitting at a major level of demand at 150. Every time we get here, the market bounces and it holds, it gets us to move back into 164. It depends where the market opens up at for PLTR. If it opens up around this area, then we're going to pay attention for a bounce back to 163, or if it breaks and retests under, down to 142. But that's the level of interest. Nothing in the middle. There's no reason for me to be taking a trade in the middle. Okay. 163 is also a nice rejection level where if it does get up there and it fails, it's just another lower high, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Can we get that lower high and then another lower low? At that level right there, very interested in a rejection. So either way, I'm looking for a play on PLTR. So AMD, PLTR, Tesla. And yeah, like I said, I want to keep this very short. Apple's consolidating. It's either above or below one of these levels, nothing in the middle. You could take bounces and rejections. I don't want to go too fast because I might confuse some of you guys, but those AMD, Tesla, and PLTR, I do want to cover those more in depth because those are the ones that I'm going to be watching the most. Microsoft on the weekly, we did break that double top neckline at 492. Any type of retest, I mean, we're also approaching a big level of previous supply that could hold as demand. So Microsoft here for a bounce, that 462 area, or if it rejects around 493. It kind of already did the break and retest, so maybe that's not a scenario that may play out. But the nearest level is gonna be this one, this 463. If we can just get a clean break and hold, actually, no, yeah. So the game plan here would be 463 bounce or a break and retest under or that 492 level. It is downtrending, so I do think it has room to 462. Just kind of look for that lower high point of where we can take it back down to there. But if I'm looking at my main setups, it's going to be AMD, Tesla, and PLTR. NVIDIA is also at a key level. We definitely have to be paying attention to what NVIDIA is doing. It's this 380 level that just keeps holding up. Sorry, 177, 180, sorry. 177 area keeps holding up. If we can get an actual clean break and retest under that, then we pretty much have room down to like Friday's lows and then these areas right there. So 168s. We would need to get under that and stay under this area right there. If it opens up above, then it can definitely start pushing back higher. Above 184 pushes higher. But yeah, guys, I don't want to make this too long. SPY and QQQ are really my main watches. I hope you guys have an amazing trading week. Make sure to join the webinar. The link is in the description, and I'll see you guys there.